Kwaidan. A slight mistranslation of the Japanese word kaidan. Kai, strange, mysterious, rare, or bewitching apparition. Dan, talk or recited narrative. Ghost story. Kwaidan is a 1964 Japanese anthology film collecting 4 of Japan's most famous ghost stories. Directed by Masaki Kobayashi, Kwaidan won the Special Jury Prize at the 1965 Cannes Film Festival and was nominated for an Academy Award as Best Foreign Language Film. Kwaidan tells 4 unrelated stories. The Black Hair, Kurokami. The Woman of the Snow, Yuki-onna. Hoichi, the Earless, Mimi Nashi Hoichi. In a Cup of Tea, Chawan no Naka. Let's take a brief look at Kwaidan. The Black Hair, Kurokami. The story begins in Kyoto with a poor swordsman and his wife, a weaver, who has very long and beautiful hair. Frustrated at his low social standing, the swordsman divorces his wife, leaving her to seek greater wealth. The swordsman marries into a wealthy family, but grows unhappy with his new situation. His second wife is vain and selfish, and she becomes furious upon learning that he married her for her status. The swordsman leaves his second wife, realizing that he still loves his first wife. Many years have passed, but he returns to his old home in Kyoto. There, he finds his ex-wife unchanged. They reconcile, and she says that she understands why he left and does not wish to punish him. They share happy stories about the past and their new future, and fall asleep together. When the swordsman awakens the next day, he finds that he has been sleeping next to his ex-wife's rotted corpse. He is horrified at this discovery and begins rapidly aging, now seeing that his old house has become a ruin. The swordsman flees the house, but he is followed and attacked by his ex-wife's long black hair. The Woman of the Snow, Yuki-onna. Minokichi and Mosaku are woodcutters. One day they take refuge during a snowstorm. Mosaku is killed by a snow woman, Yuki-onna, but when she turns to Minokichi, she finds him handsome and young and decides to spare his life. She warns him that he must never speak of this night, or she will return and kill him. Minokichi goes home and tells no one. Later, Minokichi is out cutting wood. It is nearing sunset. He comes across a beautiful woman named Yuki. She explains that she has lost her family and is on her way to Edo to seek work. As it is very late, Minokichi offers to let Yuki stay the night at his home. She never goes to Edo, as they fall in love. They get married, have children, and lead a happy life. One night, Minokichi gives Yuki sandals that he has made. She asks why he always gives her sandals with red ribbons, and he explains that it is for her youthful appearance. She never seems to age. As he watched Yuki mending a kimono in the candlelight, Minokichi recalls the Snow Woman and notices Yuki's resemblance to her. He tells Yuki of that night, a night which he promised never to speak of. Yuki reveals herself to be the Snow Woman. Despite Minokichi breaking his promise, she cannot bring herself to kill him. because of her love for him and their children. She spares his life again, asking that he treat their children well. Then she disappears into the night. Heartbroken, Minokichi places the sandals outside in the snow, then goes back into the house. Later, Yuki returns and takes the sandals with her. Hoichi the Earless, Miminashi Hoichi no Hanashi. Hoichi was a young blind musician who played the biwa. He worked at a temple where he was taken care of by others. One night while playing his biwa in the temple garden, Hoichi is approached by a samurai. The samurai invites Hoichi to play for his lord at the lord's house. Hoichi does not return that night, which worries those who take care of him. After Hoichi goes missing for several more nights, one of his friends follows him. The friend finds that Hoichi has been performing at the court of a dead emperor, and that the audience is all ghosts. He informs Hoichi of this and begs Hoichi to stop the performances, but Hoichi is reluctant to stop. Concerned for Hoichi's safety, the head priest writes the text of the Heart Sutra on Hoichi's body and face. This will render Hoichi invisible to spirits. The priest then instructs Hoichi to meditate and to pay no attention to anything around him as he does so. When the samurai returns that night to guide Hoichi to his lord's court, he cannot see him. However, he can see Hoichi's ears. The priest forgot to write sutras on them. Not wanting to return to his lord empty-handed, the samurai takes the ears. The next morning, the priest and temple attendants find Hoichi, earless but alive. Word of Hoichi's playing, so beautiful that it could beguile spirits, spreads far and wide, bringing rich patrons to the temple to hear his music. Hoichi leads a happy and wealthy life without ears. In a cup of tea, Chawan no Naka. An old writer narrates a tale about a man named Sekinai. Sekinai works as an attendant to Lord Nakagawa Sadono. While on a journey, the lord and his retinue stop at a tea house to rest. Reflected in the tea in his cup, Sekinai sees the face of an unknown man looking back at him. Despite feeling uneasy, Sekinai drinks the tea. Later, while Sekinai is guarding his lord, the face returns. The man in the cup names himself Heinai Shikibu. Sekinai runs to tell the other attendants, but they laugh at him in disbelief. Later that night, Sekinai is visited by 3 spirits who are attendants to Heinai Shikibu. He fights them and is nearly defeated. The narrator decides not to finish the story, leaving the ending to the reader's imagination. The narrator's publisher arrives and asks the housekeeper to show him to the narrator. After a brief search, they find him, trapped in a large jar of water. They flee in terror. Kwaidan, a film by Masaki Kobayashi, released in 1964. Thank you for watching. See you next time.